What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. If you have not subscribed yet, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And let's get into this conversation. Last year, I want to say it was around July, there was a story that came out in Black Enterprise about a chef who goes by the name of Darius Crooks. His name is Darius Williams, and he has a lot of stories that have come out about him even recently, which has pretty much given him the moniker of Darius Crooks, because people have been accusing him of running scams. He had a credit repair business that he was operating that was problematic and ordered to be shut down because it was illegal to do what he was doing in the state of Georgia, and he had to pay a pretty hefty fine. He had several restaurants that have all been shuttered and closed down before the pandemic, so it wasn't because of COVID that his restaurant shut down. And I'll probably do another conversation just to talk about that later, just to expound on that, because there are just some things that when I view it, it's disturbing to me, and I just want to discuss it. But anyway, he was showcased in a way that I'm quite sure he was not looking forward to being showcased, and did not want to be on camera on Fox 5 Atlanta, because he's been accused of doxing people. And the people that he has been accused of doxing have been critics of things that have either happened to them or happened to other people, and they're just trying to stand up and have a voice for those that they feel are voiceless, because Darius has a very large following. And one of the reasons why I just wanted to just highlight the story and just share my thoughts and opinions on this story was because I am a business owner, and I've been a business owner for many years now, well over a decade, and I have employees. I've dealt with issues in business, and I am never one to judge anyone that goes through things in business, but there's a way to handle it. And no, you cannot make everyone happy when you operate a business, but when people are patronizing your business and they have concerns, they have complaints, they are requesting refunds, or they're just checking to see where the stuff is that they have ordered and paid for, and to feel neglected, to feel ignored, or to just downright feel like they've been scammed, it's not a cool thing. And for someone to be a self-proclaimed millionaire, I don't really know many millionaires that get on social media to talk about other people, to dox other people, and to reveal people's families and children. I mean, it is just so disturbing. So we're going to play this clip of this news story. I actually learned about this. I actually had a few people that text messaged this to me, and I'll also shout out another content creator on YouTube, Randomness Avel. He actually has a playlist that's about Darius and different stories, because he has had a close connection with this person in the past, so he knows a whole lot more than some people do. And so I want to share the story, and then I'm just going to share my thoughts on it.
Of complaints.
That's right. Fox 5 team reporter Randy Travis spent time investigating a man who goes by the name Darius Crooks. You've been hearing a lot about this guy, Randy.
That's right, Courtney. Yeah, his real name, though, is Darius Williams. His restaurants in Atlanta are now closed. His credit repair business now shut down. But it's how he treats his online critics through a practice called doxing that may have you questioning his recipe for success. It's 4 hours before dinner at this rented house in Collier Hills, and the Fox 5 team is a surprise addition to the menu for a host who clearly does not want to be on TV. What are you trying to tell me? Have the cameraman leave? Okay, go stand down there. So why are you putting the names of your critics and their personal information online?
You don't see that?
Yeah, I've seen the actual clips.
Let me call my lawyer.
Yes, please call someone. Help us understand why you're doing this on your social media pages to people who complain about you.
We got her kids on there as well, kids' information. I put it on my Instagram.
And it has been a living nightmare.
A self-taught cook, Darius Williams has built an impressive online presence, not just through his website, Darius Cooks TV, where he sells cookbooks and cookware mixed in with his cooking videos, but also on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, where he claims 1.5 million followers. He also sells seats for 7-course meals called Dining with Darius, like the one we visited, held in various cities across the country. Williams often goes live multiple times a day to talk about food, and sometimes brag about background checks followers send him about his critics.
I can tell you who got the speeding ticket. I can tell you who moved from what state to what state.
Just 3 years ago, Georgia authorities shut down Williams' illegal credit repair business, including a $145,000 settlement. And in early 2020, before COVID, Williams suddenly closed his Atlanta restaurants, focusing instead on his online TV career, while also developing a side dish called doxing. Sadly, the ingredients for doxing are easy to find. Take a heaping cup of private or identifying information about someone, sprinkle some malicious intent, throw it on the internet, and watch how hot it burns. Remember those products Williams sells on his website? The Better Business Bureau gives his company an F rating because customers complain they never got what they ordered.
I started to notice a pattern of people coming on his live and asking about refunds.
It also bothered Danielle Holland that Williams would publicly blast some of those unhappy customers, posting their contact information like this woman, making fun of her, then sharing her brother's phone number when he tried to privately intervene. In our story, we are blurring what Darius did not. So he doesn't like criticism.
He doesn't like criticism. He doesn't like to be questioned.
The Detroit mom started anonymously retweeting some of the complaints she saw. Then one day, she looked at Darius's Twitter page.
I'm scrolling, and the next thing I know, I see a picture of me. I see a picture of my children and my husband. It was almost kind of like literally like an out-of-body experience.
They filed a police report and shut down their social media accounts, but their children's photos are still on Darius's page.
Randy, I'll be honest, I didn't even know what the term dox meant.
The Hollands quickly found others who say they're victims too, like Melanie's Ford of Atlanta. She says after she raised questions about Darius's tactics, his followers bombarded her too.
I was reached out to, called all sorts of names. It was absolutely horrible.
So, more drama equals more likes.
He does this for likes, clicks, and engagement.
The food fight has even reached other TV chefs. Sonny Anderson and Andrea Davis, known as the Kitchenista, have issued public condemnations of Williams and his doxing.
This thing about doxing and cyberbullying is real, and it's hurtful, and it's hurting people.
So what did the usually chatty Darius Williams finally have to say to us?
You could just go on record and say I'm declining the comment. That's it. Have a great day.
Well, wait a minute.
No.
These people are upset because you've been putting their personal information online, Darius. Come on, I thought you liked being on television. Apparently not our channel. Now, Sonny Anderson is a Food Network personality who gave Williams his first break by featuring him on her show several years ago. I talked to Sonny by phone. She says she feels horrible about what's happened, and she has disavowed any connection to him at all.
Well, it's disturbing enough to see these people's personal information being spread all over the internet, but the question is doxing illegal?
No, it's not against the law, which makes you wonder if the Hollands will get any satisfaction from that police report they filed in Detroit earlier this year. But let's face it, it may not be against the law, but it's creepy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to post someone's personal information online, knowing that you have a lot of followers who are going to perhaps do something about it, it's wrong, and it shouldn't be going on.
Yeah, it's potentially dangerous.
And those kids as well. We saw those kids' pictures on his website.
That's what prompted the Hollands to call the cops. They were just horrified about that. But again, as I said, doxing, at least on its surface, is not against the law.
Yeah, pretty surprising.
All right, I can't even lie. I did laugh a little bit when this story played because I rarely watch the news and I don't watch any local news in my area. So just watching this news story just kind of reminded me how these reporters can be when they are creating a story. They really are somewhat like content creators, because when the guy was using play on words, because Darius is a chef, and how he was just talking about how he adds a little bit of this and adds a little bit of that to, you know, create what we call doxing. It was like a recipe. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a trip. But the other thing that kind of caught my ear and my eye, because as the reporter was walking up to the residence, he made it clear that this location that he was in was not his house. It's a rental. So it's almost like they're trying to call him out. And look, there's nothing wrong with renting. I get that. But when someone is on social media that makes it very clear about how much money they're making, and they're a millionaire, and they do this and they do that and all of that, it kind of is questionable when you see how someone operates, definitely their businesses, and how they live. And again, nothing wrong with renting, but if you really are a millionaire like that, because apparently they said he sold his house, what did you really sell the house for? And I don't know. But you know, with this news story and Fox 5 highlighting things that he has done online and people that he has exposed, and they've said that doxing pretty much is not illegal. Okay, my question is, should it be? Should doxing be seen somewhat like stalking? And technically, stalking is not really illegal, but you can get a restraining order against someone when you feel that they are stalking you, and you can prove that there may be some malicious intent, like you have some crazy stalker that may be stalking a celebrity, and they're sending them emails or sending them direct messages on social media and things like that, and this is someone that you don't know. So you have reason to have fear and to believe that this person could try to cause you harm, so you seek a restraining order. And then if the restraining order is granted, then if they violate, then they can be arrested. But with doxing, especially in this situation, okay, they can say, well, this isn't illegal, but it is just very disturbing that a millionaire businessman is upset that people have been critical of him for whatever reason, with products that they didn't get, or products that they did receive and it wasn't up to par, or a dining event that they paid for tickets for, and for whatever reason it had to be canceled, and they were wanting to get a refund, and it's past the time that they could do a dispute with their credit card company or debit card company. Because of the time period, they can't get their money back from the financial institution, so they're trying to get a refund from him, and he's either blocking them or not responding to their messages, and so they just are trying to vent in some way. And so in retaliation, he would expose their personal information online. Like, that is really insane. And so, you know, I'm just thinking about it, and I don't know. I'm quite sure there's nothing new under the sun, and there may be at least one other person in the world who is a quote unquote business owner or entrepreneur that deals in a dirty way and deals with things on a personal level instead of handling it like a business person. But what business person, what entrepreneur, not even that, because there are a lot of people who are entrepreneurs that ain't making any money. Let's just be clear with that. And there may be people that are making decent money in terms of the revenue, but it's not a profit because they have a lot of expenses. You are busy operating your business. Who has time to be online to expose people's personal information in retaliation and posting pictures of their children and their significant other and talking about them to their followers online. That is absolutely insane. But the thing about it is he is being enabled by those people that follow him really hard. And I've talked about it here on my platform before, where I've talked about cults and people that have like a cult-like following. I've talked about it before with like the Brother Polite situation, and how people will just continue to follow someone to the death sometimes. And it's honestly not much different than a religious cult like the Jonestown massacre and the David Koresh, situation where people follow these people to the death. I was watching a documentary last week, I believe, one day last week, and it was on Waco and David Koresh. And that situation happened, oh my God, like over 20 years ago, I believe, longer. And there are people that did not die in that fire that were talking about this situation, and they still follow that thinking of this guy that was teaching them to this day. They call themselves branch Davidians. Like, Davidian is a long word that they created from this guy's name, David Koresh. Davidian, like, it's crazy. But there were people that were saying, I should have died in that fire, I should have been in there, I shouldn't have left. To this day they said that. And so I'm saying that because I don't understand the mindset of people who follow people when they're wrong to the death, and just instead of just, if you like the person, okay, cool. But when you start seeing something, you may not say something, but stop following them. But for people to be on the attack and be like this person's guard dog is just absolutely crazy. Like, what are you gaining from that? What are you earning from that? Are you being paid to do it? I don't know. But I'm just saying, it is really sad to see this situation, because I used to follow him years ago on Periscope, when Periscope used to be a thing, and I stopped following, after a while, because at first, it was just kind of funny just seeing him lay up in the bed and just talk about nothing. And then I remember when he was opening up the Greens and Gravy restaurant in Atlanta, I was like, oh, this is cool. Somebody who went from doing this thing, I guess, in his kitchen and just talking about whatever or nothing on social media to actually opening up a restaurant. That's cool, But should doxing be illegal? I really would love to know what you guys think about the doxing situation, and what millionaires do you know of that are doxing people in retaliation because they don't like what this person has said about them? Like, do you know how many millionaires that are out here that are in business where someone doesn't like them, or they may have frequented a business that they own or operate, or things of that nature? Because again, no, you can't please everybody, but you should try your best to do so. But there are people that are just not your customers. I've never purchased anything from him. I've never bought anything. I really don't have a dog in this fight. I just wanted to talk about it from a business perspective, to just share my thoughts on, one, this local news station calling him out for actually doxing his detractors, and wanting to know your thoughts on, should doxing be illegal? And do many millionaires that you know of sit and dox people in retaliation because they don't like something that they said? There are people that have created hate pages about some people, on social media, hate websites and all these different things like that. Do you see those people sitting and going back and forth and exposing the people who have spoken out against them, or don't like them, or don't like their brand or their products or whatever it is, and doing those things? You have to get to a point where you rise above that situation, and not only just rising above the situation. Here's what my thoughts are, just as a business person. Why block people who have supported you, and asking, from what I've seen in other people's videos, like I've seen some videos on Randomness of Vel and some other content creators like Natalie Lawyer Chick and a few other people. I can't remember the young man's name. I think is Owalabi. He's done some videos about Darius Cooks. And my question is, as a business person, if you have all of these followers, and they sometimes, even if they don't want the stuff, they will purchase just to support. And if their purchase isn't up to par, why not just try to make it right with these people if you're a millionaire? I'm just saying, I know as a business person myself, you sometimes get clients that they were not happy with the way a service turned out. It's not many, but even with those, we try our best to make it right. And sometimes that results in a refund. I would rather, for the sake of the business, just try to make things right with the person, even if it means that it results in a financial loss to me, because I'll make it up on the back end. And I have an accountant that handles those things, you refunds, and all of those different things like that, write-offs for the business and other things that we do to try to make things right and have a rapport with the clients, so that, hey, if things didn't work out for that person, maybe they'll refer someone else. And that usually does happen. But you cannot really be in a sustainable business and operate successfully if you continue to get backlash like this when it is warranted. Because let's just be honest. It's not like this guy is operating some Fortune 500 company and people are just hating on him. I truly don't believe that. A lot of people like to say, oh, they're just haters, they're jealous. That is an easy cop-out. That is such an easy cop-out. When someone is calling something or someone out, instead of either not responding if you feel that it is a low blow, or trying to make the situation right if it is a customer or a client that frequented or supported your business financially, and just trying to make it right, you go for the low blow, the easy, low-hanging fruit to say, oh, they're jealous, they're envious, they're haters. That is old. It's just not realistic. It's not realistic. Yeah, we all have people that don't like us. Not everybody in the world is going to like you, but I don't think that this man has that many haters that are just so jealous of him. I really don't. I just think that he has gotten, maybe it looked like, especially with the closure of all of those restaurants, and I'll probably talk about that in a different conversation, he's just gotten way too big too fast. And I actually did say that in my previous conversation about the Black Enterprise Black Enterprise story surrounding Darius Cooks and the Kitchenista and Sunny Anderson from Food Network before, about I feel that he just got too big too fast. So with all the openings of the restaurants and then the fast closures, it just seemed like it just became too much too soon. But instead of just trying to make it right with people, I don't know, you wind up getting a whole lot of, sometimes I feel, deserved hate when you make a lot of enemies. You shut down the restaurants without any notice. People are depending on their paychecks and their jobs. You have all of these people that are following and supporting you, and they're purchasing your products, your cakes, your cookware, your tickets to your dining events and whatever else that there may be. And then when people are seeking a refund of some sort for whatever reason, and then you block them, you don't respond, and all of these different things like that. And I'm going to talk about some employee situations in another conversation. But again, do you feel that doxing should be illegal? It may be that they need to view this in a different way, especially, there's levels to it. Someone may expose someone's address and they just put it out there and that's it. And then say, well, I didn't have any, ill intent by doing that. But really, why did you put it out there? But to call out someone's background, so you're going to do a background check on them, talk about their credit report, post pictures of their family, their little children. I mean, come on. That's the thing that I just don't get and don't understand. How can anyone that follows this person think that that is warranted or justified and just ignore it and continue to follow this person? I'm not saying every single person that follows him thought that that was okay, because I'm quite sure that there were some people with common sense that said, you know what, this is crazy, this is not cool. I may not say anything to him, but I'm going to hit the unfollow button because I just cannot get down with that. But there are people in this clique of sort of like wives, to this man, which is crazy because anyway, I'm not even gonna go there. But it's just nuts to me that this is something where you are women that are in a way probably being used, because most men, not all, but most men don't operate by their emotions and their feelings. And I believe he knows who to prey on. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like Dr. Boyce Watkins. I used to subscribe to his channel years ago. I stopped following him because I saw a pattern with him, and I know what he does. And he has his audience. He knows that women are more emotional, and definitely more emotional with buying. So what he will do is create content surrounded and wrapped up in emotions and feelings. So he'll do a lot of content to talk about pop culture things and things like that, and then try to relate it back to something that he has to sell. And those people, in turn become clients of his. And this dude would send out like emails, like sometimes 3 and 4 times a day. I don't know like what his subscription is looking like for his subscription cost is looking like for his email customer relationship management system. But I digress. It's all emotions and emotional. And marketing is everything when it comes to business. So a lot of his marketing he gets to do for free because he's got the time to spend hours a day apparently online. And apparently a lot of these women do too, because they follow him. They love the contents. I remember, him being on Periscope. He would just be laying up in the bed, no shirt on, with the kinky chest hairs out. And the ladies would just be on there and laughing and giggling and tapping the hearts up on the screen and just loving it. And he could care less about them. And I say that because if he really cared about those people who would lay down proverbial lay down their life for him, then why would he not do the same for those people who were following him, did purchase and support financially, and then they had an issue with something, and instead of trying to make the situation right, he just ignored them or block them, or if he responds to them, if it's alive, he will, he might mention it because it's in the comments and people see it, but then he'll, later on block them and he won't respond. It's crazy, but I really would love to know what you guys think about this, so you can let me know your thoughts about it in the comments section.
Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And until the next time, I'm just being beautifully honest.